I'm Rachel, this is John, and we are your hosts of The For Show.
The For Show is a weekly YouTube show to help you be more for the people in your life because we believe that Jesus is for us.
And the last episode was Easter.
It was.
And John ended that by talking about how the church that we know it today isn't what it was meant to be. And he challenged us to watch a little story about a changed life. And John, I think you know all about a changed life.
Yep, I did watch the video, but I also experienced it.
Yeah, firsthand.
Firsthand. So the video was about Tiffany and her baptism story. And Tiffany, if you don't know, is my wife. And it was a February morning of 2016 that she stated that she was all in. And from that moment in February 2016, flash forward to August 2016, we are in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. So she was all in with moving.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Virginia.
Yeah, and she's just following what God had for her and her family. So you go from just everything's normal in Virginia to now I'm living in a house with a couple that I didn't meet until I pulled up in their driveway. And that's Dave and Tony. If you know who Dave and Tony is.
So nice.
But yeah, I lived with them for a couple weeks and then we got us a house out here and it all happened pretty quick, but
Scary quick.
But there was a lot of things that happened that were really exciting because you could just see God working through it, whether it was just us selling our house, which sold really quick, or there was even a moment where we got some free moving boxes from somebody. So it's a whole lot of stories, and I'd love to tell them to all of you someday. So
yeah,
that's
pretty great. And changing of lives.
It is.
Never mind your girls.
Yeah, my girls. So today we start a new series called From and For, and it is a series of episodes about how what God wants from us and what He wants for us works together to grow our faith. So we're going to throw it over to Harney for the new series, From and For.
Yep, but make sure you hang around because we got some recaps, some reminders, and some rewards.
Yep.
See ya soon.
Yeah, buddy.
If you're anything like me, you can't tell the stories of your life without mentioning people who have played big roles in it, for better or for worse, right? Now, I know for me, the physical strength and health that I've pursued, the mental well-being that I currently enjoy, the emotional maturity I have, maybe not much, and the spiritual strength and understanding that I've gained, they've all come through positive relationships that I believe God brought to me. There is an army of good people who have had and continue to have positive influence in my life. The same is true on the other side of this coin as well. Those physically unhealthy, emotionally unstable, weak mental and spiritual times in my life have generally been surrounded by people with negative influence on me. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone here. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. I think we can all agree that our friends, our boyfriends and girlfriends, our roommates that we've had, our spouses, they have the ability to determine the quality of our lives, and they bring a lot of direction into our lives. If I more simply stated that, our relationships determine the quality and the direction of our lives, right? And not only do we know this to be true, but God, who created us, who made us to be in relationships with other people, he knew that this would be true about us. So he inspired a couple of guys to talk about and live out and eventually write about this. The first of which was King Solomon. Now, King Solomon is the son of King David. There's lots of history around him, and he was known as the wisest king who ever lived. He wrote in what the Jewish people called their wisdom literature, or the Jewish Proverbs, in Proverbs 13:20, that when we walk with the wise, we become wise. And a wise person in this context is someone who knows the difference between right and wrong, and then seeks to do what is right. But most promises in our lives have a transverse operation, meaning if you do the opposite, that something opposite happens. The same is true here when Solomon goes on and states that for a companion of fools suffers harm. A fool here is someone who knows the difference between right and wrong, but doesn't care. They live carelessly. Solomon talked about fools as people who see life as disconnected, right? They live as if today's decision will have no impact on tomorrow. A wise person, however, understands that life is connected. They live with the understanding that today's decision has the potential to create tomorrow's reality. And the interesting part here is that it's not perfectly opposite. He doesn't say that a companion of fools becomes foolish. He says a companion of fools suffers harm. Now, you've heard this stated as wrong place, wrong time, or maybe you know someone who, or you've personally told a story that ended with, if I wouldn't have gotten in that car, if I wouldn't have gone with them to that place, if I wouldn't have done that thing, I wouldn't have ended up hurt, disabled, whatever. Or possibly telling it of someone that you've lost, that they would still be here with us. There's lots of logic in this, and plenty of real-life examples we could all tell. And the promise from Solomon, from God in Proverbs 13:20, goes right along a similar warning that Paul wrote in what we call 1 Corinthians in the New Testament, when Paul tells a group of people in ancient Corinth that bad company corrupts good character. Now, that's pretty clear. I don't think I need to really spell that out for you. You guys get that. And again, you can probably tell your own stories here that fit this idea. In fact, you probably had a few shoot through your mind right away. And maybe it was first with your kids, and friends that you didn't or don't want them hanging around with. Maybe secondly, you thought about your spouse. You probably even stopped this video, laughed, maybe cried a little bit, or told someone watching with you about a time that this was true in your life. Those stories generally start with, and then I met, or I started hanging around with. Maybe for you it was, and then I married. And all of those stories end with, and then it all fell apart. Or, if I could just go back and not meet that person or those people. You see, these two waypoints in Jewish and in Christian scriptures, they make it very clear. But more than that, our own lives and personal experiences make it even clearer that certain relationships are pivotal in our physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual development, while others can lead us in directions that we never intended to go. So if our relationships determine the quality and the direction of our lives, or as I used to say to teenagers all the time, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. What do we do when it comes to friends? Well, God desires for us to have friends that are for us, that positively impact our lives. People who help us to develop physically, emotionally, mentally as human beings, to help us grow and mature, but also to point us in a direction that will grow our faith. But to get there, He needs a couple of things from us. You see, there is a correlation between what God wants from us and what He desires for us. It's not a one-way relationship here. This is God giving everything for us and us giving everything in return. So here's what I see as I wrap up today. God needs from us to put ourselves around people who are positive influences. People who encourage our physical, our mental, our emotional, and really most importantly, our spiritual growth and well-being. And listen, don't hear what I'm not saying here. This isn't about like ditch all your friends who aren't followers of Christ. That's not what this is. If you were like me growing up, that may have been a meta message that you got from church and from church people. But when we look at Jesus's life, he didn't do this. So if Jesus didn't do that, why would God desire you to just ditch everyone that's not a follower of Christ? That's why the second part of what God wants from us is so important. You see, God needs from us to be for other people by being their positive influence. God wants you to be for someone what you got from someone. So depending on what stage of your development you are in, especially in your spiritual growth, maturity, and health, the ratios of people being for you and you being for people may change over time. You may need a full overhaul right now. You may look around at your friends and say, I don't see health and well-being in any aspect of my life coming from my current set of friends. So if a wise person has wise friends, but a companion of fools suffers harm, your relationships right now may be bringing you harm, not foolishness, in your life. Your bad company may be corrupting good character. But maybe some of you have had really good people in your life for a long time, but you've never been the positive influence in someone else's life. You see, Jesus left from everything perfect and easy and came to live his life for you so that you could know the fullness of life that God wants for you. For those of us who have accepted that full life in Jesus, we are to live a life mission to be that for someone else. So let me challenge you to evaluate your current relationships in life. First, start with where you are. Do you have physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health in your life? If not, what are you willing to do to get there? I heard it said once that if you want something that you've never had, you probably need to do something that you've never done. Solomon said, and Paul agreed, that relationships determine the quality and the direction of our lives. So how will you pursue relationships that will encourage health in those areas of your life? For us around Bridge Church, we do that through what we call circles. It's small groups of people who learn to love and care for each other. Some in the circle are ready to be for others, but some people just need someone to be for them. And maybe as you evaluate yourself, you will see that you have a great group of people in your life who have helped you to gain physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. So have you done that for anyone else? God wants for us to have healthy lives with strong faith through our relationships, but he needs from us to the willingness to put ourselves into places where it can grow. So what will you do this week to give God the opportunity for that to happen?
So welcome back. This week, John talked about how our friends can determine the quality of our life.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know what it's like to have poor quality of life because of the friends I choose to associate with. And I also know what it's like to have a more positive life experience because of the more positive people I choose to associate with and how God uses that in my life every day.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, a good place that you can have some quality friends is
Circles!
Circles. And
Circle gets a square.
Yeah, and Circle gets a square. So we have, our sign-ups are still active for our circles.
Yep.
We have 3 of them right now.
Yep.
Women's Circle, which is meeting 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Coffee Hub.
In Beaver Creek.
Yep. And we have the Couple Circle.
Yes.
Which is love and respect study.
But it is the last week to get signed up for it.
Okay, so
we want to emphasize that.
Last week you can sign up for the Couple Circle,
yes.
So still time, get in there. And then we also have the men's circle, which is 6:30 p.m. on Fridays. And we are going to just focus on
Guy stuff.
building relationships and building other stuff.
Machines and oh no.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see where it takes us.
Depends on how big the project is.
Yeah. I mean,
Whatever.
yeah. We also have some events coming up, or
An
event. I said that last time. We have an event coming up. April 25th, we have a family hike at John Bryan State Park at 10:30 to 1 p.m. So we just encourage you to pack a lunch, bring the whole family, bring some friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll just be a really pretty day that we can hang out in the park together, hike. We're going to meet at the Storybook Trail parking lot. There's a GPS link for that on the Church Center app.
Yes.
So head to the Church Center app to find the exact destination of where we're going to be. Yeah.
And the Church Center app is also where you can do your giving. That's where we do our giving.
Yes.
And that's where you can get all the information for all the circles.
Yep.
And the events and everything. And the Church Center app, the giving, it's what helps everything keep on rolling the way it's rolling. And it helps with our giveaways.
Yeah. And our giveaway this week, since it's spring, the winters were pretty hard on our cars.
Salt on the road.
Just salt and just all that white stuff that fell from the sky every other day, it felt like.
It was like every other day though.
So we've got giveaway today is 2 ultimate car washes from Mike's Car Wash, and they have several locations all around Dayton. But we've got 2 ultimate car washes for you. And it's the same way.
Yep.
Like to enter yourself to win, or
Comment to enter somebody else.
to enter someone else.
Before somebody else.
Yes. If you have a friend who has a really dirty car and you're trying to think of a passive-aggressive way to tell them to clean their car,
You're just too
what
nice and you
better
don't want to
way-
tell them.
Yeah,
You don't want to
what-
hurt their feelings.
what better way to be for someone than to passively aggressively tell them to clean their car?
Yeah, here, I got this for you. And hope they use it.
Yeah, exactly. So Sunday afternoon, we'll post that on social media. Like it, comment your friend who has a dirty car's name,
Yeah.
and we'll pick somebody to win that.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
We'll pick somebody to win that.
Yep.
So take time to subscribe to this video so that you don't miss the next one. And if you missed the last one, you can always go back and share it with somebody that you're for.
Follow us on social media.
Yep. social
Facebook,
media.
Instagram,
Yup. And
all that.
yeah, and just go be for someone
Just do it.
today.
Nike.
Do it.
Can I say that?
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. They didn't pay me to say that, I swear.
Just do it.
I'm ready to go home now.
10 episodes.